Hi, everybody. Hello. Okay, we're here, aren't we? Let me just fix this. I'm finishing my last little to-dos. There we go. Welcome. Hi, Tree. Good to see you. You're here. Hello, everybody. I can only see, let me just check one more time. Welcome to May. Welcome to May, everybody. I can only see those of you who are saying good morning. Hi, Donna. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So if you want to say hi, say hi. If you want to. Okay. All right. So welcome to May, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy you're here. Can't see everybody, but hi, Kathy. I'm happy you're here and looking forward to it too. Okay, so let's start, and whoever comes on as they come on, wonderful. I hope more people join us. You know, it's so interesting that the majority of the hi, Lilia. I am so glad you're here. I'm really happy you're here. I wish I could see everybody's faces. To all of you. So it's a very interesting thing how the majority of the list of membership people who have registered and who pay monthly $22 to be with me and to do this live experience and to get the recording and be in this interaction with this community of majority of women at this point still. Good morning, Valerie. I'm glad you're here. The majority of people don't make it live, and that's okay. And so for all the people who are going to be listening to the recording that you receive via email and you didn't make it today live, thank you for staying with the community and being on this membership with us and in spirit with us. I'll say good morning to Laura. Laura's here and helping me handle all the tech and all the things that. Hi, Laura. I can't. So let's see. Let's just dive in. You know, sometimes I feel more prepared than other times for these monthly calls. Sometimes I literally feel like I just get ready and show up. That's kind of how it was today because I think, oh gosh, I can't remember. Was it yesterday that I did the live or was it the day before? Oh my God. Time. Okay. So I did a live group, live Facebook experience thing. You know how you go live and on Facebook. Yeah. A couple days ago. I don't think it was yesterday. I think it was the day before. And that was nice. It was about the Scorpio full moon and all of these changes we've been going through. So if you're listening now live or you're listening to the recorded version, you can go onto the Eternal Light Foundation page, Grace Cavanaugh - Eternal Light Foundation, if you're not already a friend and or liking it there. Or you can also go on my YouTube channel and find this live recording too, where I talked about the Scorpio full moon and all that it's bringing up and all of the changes and shift that we're going through. I called it the shift storm, Scorpio shift storm. And so it's worth the watch because I do a little chat in the beginning with whatever has been happening for me and the things that I've been recognizing. And then also I did a channeling and I didn't listen to the full channeling. But it's good. People have been really liking it. And hopefully if you didn't listen, you'll listen. And the reason I bring up that is because I've been being more acutely aware of this overall shift, but I would say that it has to do also with the Scorpio moon. So when I say I'm showing up today, it's because I'm just showing up today being like feeling very open to the offering of what's going to come through. But I've been acutely aware of the physical, emotional symptoms that myself and a lot of other people have been experiencing. And so a lot of times we do point towards the moon or astrology about that. I know I do. It just is it's a way for me to, in my human beingness, try to make sense of things at times. And I just really appreciate the science of astrology. But what I'm going to say right now is a little bit more about the multidimensional aspects. We're kind of pointing towards the effect that the full moon in Scorpio and moving into Taurus, the sun is in Taurus, and then on the 15th we're moving into Chiron, the wounded healer, for the next 7 to 8 years in Taurus, which is going to bring a lot of intense changes for us all. And this time period hasn't happened since something like, I think it was 1932 to something like 1946. And so that if we look back at that time, there was a lot of changes, and they have to do with Taurus and money and earth and relationships and stability and building. And that's what we're doing. So on a multi-dimensional level, so there's all of that, and we can really point to that. And then there's this multi-dimensional aspect of those of us who are in this awareness to how we're all changing, even though changing in the multi-dimensional way does not have logic. It does just not have easy language even around it. And sometimes I even think that Osairah talks about things in a way that we're handling to hear it on the third dimensional level. But I also know that energetically and vibrationally, based upon some of the death and rebirth experiences I've been having, are showing how we are actually acclimating multidimensionally at a rate where we're kind of still holding into the platform of third dimensional reality. And that's perfect, because too much too fast is not a good thing. When I was having a spontaneous Kundalini awakening experience in 2008, seven, it was almost too painful in my body, and the energy was too much. It was like a small bomb went off in my body, and it was so many different things. Energetically, it was in my root, in my sex chakra, it was in my heart, it was in literally the ability to hold. It felt like too much, and there was too much information streaming in to my head. What I mean by that, is like the channel. It was just too big, and it was too open, and I could barely contain how much I was hearing and seeing and knowing. And it can blast people out. And so I don't recommend it. I don't know any good teacher or person who's gone through it on any level who would ever say, yeah, you just want to blast through that. So what's happening is we are acclimating, and timelines are, I don't know if Osairah's talked about this totally, but I do know that they've been kind of imprinting this through my consciousness as I've been going through my life experience, that we are kind of collapsing these timelines, or the timelines are being collapsed. And energetically, we are melding as best we can hold energies and new frequencies. So what I talked about in the other live experience was, this is often showing up as physical symptoms. And people have talked for years about ascension symptoms being physical. I think that is a way to talk about it, but I think we've actually gone past that way. It especially used to be talked about it around 2012. And maybe still since, but I feel that there's a next level jump about these kinds of physical changes that you can feel. They do sometimes feel or show up like total exhaustion. Like you could and do need to sleep for days, or take naps regularly, or just literally feel like you're pulling the body around, like it's this this heavy meat sack, is some kind of heavy like carcass, and you're just pulling it through. And I have lived through that. That is so challenging. But there's also other things like dizziness. Sometimes people call that vertigo. And I think I don't think, I really have seen and know that it is an energetic upgrade. And your body is being, not just with dizziness, not just with exhaustion. There's dizziness, exhaustion, sometimes very strange pains that will start up in your body. And one of those for me is on one of my knees. And I have even gone to the doctor and got MRIs. And sure, they say it's meniscus, but that's all they say. Oh, you've got some meniscus issues. Well, that doesn't help me. And then I take a bunch of supplements and I start to take collagen and it gets a little better, but I feel that it's energetic. So it's very strange, because the reason I'm talking about this is because I didn't announce this. I haven't told it very many people, but not last weekend, the weekend before, I went into the hospital and I was kept overnight. And I went in because I have had some information that I might have issues with my heart. And I have been experiencing for the last few years, and recently, recently I've been experiencing the intensity in my heart, like anxiety, tightness. And when my mom passed, she passed with a heart attack suddenly. My dad had had many little heart attacks. So when that happened, I went and got a check, and they told me that I had this blockage in my heart. So for 3 years, I lived with an experience of believing that I had a blockage in what's called the widowmaker. And last Saturday, not this past, but this past before, one before, I woke up and the tightness in my chest was unbelievable. And I do a lot of things to handle that. I do breath work. I literally just try to go into my heart and expand my heart. I just do things, right? And to try to mitigate that experience and see that it can pass. And on that day, there was this knowing that I needed to go to the hospital. So I had some things to do for my daughter, and I picked up and I did those things, and I carried it. It was like, I felt very almost dissociated from the reality. I was doing the activities, and there was this higher presence that was just totally guiding me, telling me that do this, do this. Then I got in my car and I drove myself to the hospital. And I was aware of how intense my heart was, but I was not really panicking over it. I was just being really conscious of the intensity in my chest, a little shortness of breath, the tightness, and the pressure. And I could attribute it to the idea of feeling anxiety. So when they had me check in, because they have a computer thing where you touch the screen to check yourself in the ER, and I just had to push one button, and they came right over and they said, "Are you having tightness in your chest? Are you da 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 da?" So they pushed me right through, and they then asked me all these questions, and then did a test, and then the test showed some strange stuff, and so they brought me into the doctor. He gave me the 3rd degree in questioning, and then immediately I was in a hospital bed within not 15 minutes, and I ended up staying overnight because they wanted to run more tests because of my family history and because of having me telling them that I had this 3D imaging of my heart where it showed a blockage. So the next day I did an angiogram, and they went in and did this angiogram. And I'm literally thinking, kind of to a certain extent, I feel like I'm just too young for all of this. And a lot of it didn't feel, reason I'm telling you this is a lot of it didn't feel like it was what it was. But yet I felt after 3 years of having certain kinds of information in my head and feeling this overwhelming feeling for many of those years, for a lot of time during the last 3 years, it was just like there was something in me that needed to go and follow through with this on this practical side of, let me get the information, let me really know what's up so that I can handle what needs to be handled, because this is not a way to live. Well, the angiogram, my friends, showed that I have no blockage in the widowmaker, as I had been previously told. And whether or not I healed that myself, or spirit healed that, or it didn't exist and I was given wrong information, I don't know. But here's the thing. I probably have a very huge hospital bill, deductibles and all. And yet I feel fine with that because I got the information. And the information to me means that this is a electromagnetic, physiological upgrade of the consciousness and the light body that I am carrying. And it showed up like that. I know that I'm integrating things that I cannot comprehend on an intellectual level from the third dimension of my ego self. And that's what I'm saying. We are sometimes just like from one day to the next, people are getting sick, with bronchitis overnight, or getting the flu, or having issues with needing to do cleanses because they've got some, I just know people who are like all of a sudden I have to do cleanses. And so there's a lot of that if you are beginning to wake up to these multidimensional energies accelerating the physical body, we are the physical bridgers of the new earth, and we have to amplify and continue to wake our bodies up, or like I should say that accept the integration of this new light that's happening on the planet. So I tell you that story because I don't talk about those things a lot. I probably will now. I'll probably go on Facebook and say, I was in the hospital 2 weeks ago, and it's all about multidimensional realities. But I'm sharing that because I really want you to understand. I'm hoping you guys can relate. And if that goes on for you, if there's more that shows up for you in the physical, emotional body, try to remember to help yourself, love yourself through it with these practical ways of checking things out, but also remembering that you're doing upgrades, that you are in a kind of an ascension process of the body to hold the fifth dimensional energies so that we can do this acceleration that we've really come here for. So, yeah, I felt like that was an important part because I know that it has been very intense emotionally. It doesn't matter your circumstances. You can have the triggers in life, the people, the situations, the things that you can attach to, oh my gosh, this is so bad. And that's why I'm so emotional. Or that's why I'm going through this dark night of the soul. Or that's why I feel so disconnected or emotional all the time or depressed. I also want to say, yeah, those things are a mirror for that kind of stuff so that they can be triggered, so that you can heal it, so that you can amplify the greater aspects of this multidimensional download that is happening on our planet all the time. And it's harder for us to remember that. We immediately go to what the human ego does, is, oh, there's something wrong. Oh my God, there's something bad with me. Why do I always feel like this? That dual fight that we have inside of ourselves about the judgment on ourselves. And I'm just wanting to really support you guys in that reflection that upgrades, downloads. The light body is accelerating in this energy. And so I'm sure they've talked about it and they will continue to talk about it. It is also my birthday month. And that's why I'm feeling festive. I'm wearing my favorite malas. I want to suggest that I want to offer that during this month, pay attention to any little hints or special emails or stuff like that I might send out to you, because I do like to share in the festivities of my birthday. It is a big one. And so I want to include you all in that. So look out for some emails and stuff like that. All right. Let's see. What are we going? Alana, I love you. You make me laugh. Okay. My friends, let's do a fun little thing on my birthday month. Actually, my daughter's birthday is tomorrow too. Who just popped out? Oh, nothing much, but Jesus. Master Jesus, forgiveness. Oh, thank you. Right? You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. Beautiful, beautiful, and perfect. Put that right there. And then, so I'm going to pull one more of this card deck. I love this card deck, Keepers of the Light. Anybody have any thoughts or questions? I'm feeling, I know at times on the call, our group is not a huge group, which I also love. I hope that you guys feel like you can, connect, ask questions, say anything on the chat there, and feel like you are in a community. Here we are, Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. I love Kuan Yin. She was one of my first divine feminine, well, maybe not my first. She was pretty close in there. Connectors. I'm going to do one more. And of course, Mother Mary. I was just thinking about her, so of course. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother healing is possible at this time. Wow, that's pretty awesome, right? Well, that's pretty beautiful. Okay. And for this very special group and all who might be listening, I'm going to pull one of the gateway cards. I love these cards too. Just one. Let's see what this says. For all of us on this path through the month of May. And boy, does seriously, I don't know about you guys, but I was thinking about this last night or this morning. The time between last monthly group channeling and today, hello density, feels so long. I feel like I was doing this like a long, long time ago with you, not just whatever would be considered a month. So for the month of May, for our beautiful community of light and all of the intensity, beautiful changes of the upgrades in this dimensional field of consciousness that we are holding as the keepers of the light, the gateway card for us for the month is, oh, Laura, you're going to love this. Emerging into grace. I open my soul to grace. I don't know, I'm having a moment. Wow. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Where shall I put it? Can you see it? I want you guys to see it. There it is. Emerging into grace. Yeah, and I think, we all need to remember to offer ourselves the kindness, the sweetness, the grace in the process by way of self-love. I want to share with you all that, my journey at this time, so interestingly enough, has not been all that easy. And it has been a lot of shift points and a lot of coming up against myself and old patterns, old ideas, old stuck points of the ego, so that I can transcend and move forward and experience this, to be it, to live the change and be the kind of channel person, embodiment of what we are here doing. And some of my own stuck points, and probably sometimes you can relate to this, I'm sure, at different points in your own experience, maybe on a daily basis, maybe monthly, maybe you haven't bumped up against this quite the way that I recently did, but really bumping into the shadow pieces of how there is not self-love. And the opposite of those words would be how there's self-hate and self-loathing. And for me personally, sharing this deeply with you all here, because I love you all and I'm so glad you're here, that the places in myself that I've had to bump up against about my own self-hate and self-love really has shown itself. And that has been grueling, but completely liberating, because the moment that I have been able to really authentically let myself see it and feel it and express it and get it out and move that energy, as opposed to hiding it from myself or even admitting it, or just the way that it came up for me was really specific and really clear. And the moment that I did, there was this other wider, bigger, beautiful, realer part of me that said, that's not even true. And here is the truth, and the love just flooded in. And so these are the balancing. We are learning how to multidimensionally, in the reality of the life of the embodied person and being of light, we are learning how to balance all these things. And a lot of that shit has to go, but it has to be seen first. It has to be fully, willingly accepted as what is in order to be liberated. And so for me, this really is a beautiful card emerging into grace, not just because my name, it says, I open my soul to grace, to the grace of being all of this and all of this shift and all of this change, and the compassion with, ourselves to find self-love. Going back real quick, and I will get on with it. Going back real quick to the heart thing and going into the hospital. My heart has had a lot of grief and a lot of stuff that it has had to process, and old pain, not just direct nowadays pain. And so I do see that as not just a metaphor. I see it as the actualness of this physical body and the healing of my own heart and the intensity of the amount of love that I am and can feel and can be and can vibrate into the world. And I first have to recognize that. I first have to accept that. I first have to love myself, like really, not just give lip service to, oh, I love myself and give self-care and self-love. I'm talking really fucking getting myself back and really, or for the first time, maybe fully seeing all of my wholeness, all of my holiness, even if it is in shadow. So the reclamation that I know Osairah has been talking to, maybe you all, but I know other people, and putting into my own consciousness, the reclamation we're doing is we are reclaiming, we are remembering our soul, we are remembering the truth of why we're here, and to balance that with this egoic, practical, worldly, play the game 3D life is not easy. So what is also happening is that old life that we have had, the old identities, old identifiers, old ways of being, old patterns, and old programming have to go. And that is not always easy, because the human part of us, human beingness of us, wants to hang on. I'm a good hanger-oner. And it just drags me through the mud. So I've really been going through this process, like so many, of how to really dissolve these pieces that cannot stay here in order to expand. And it makes me get emotional, not because I'm sad, because I'm so fucking excited for the liberation of this personhood of beingness that Grace is, that I am, and that I really am with you and with myself and with this mission and the soul's purposes for coming. It's pretty awesome. You know, I know that I'm an intense person at times. And when you take the level 1, 2, and 3, which there's many of you on here who have done, you see my fire, right? Like I am full on, and it can be very intense. But that's because I am seriously an activator. But I've had to be the activator to myself and again, and really learn how to handle that. So my heart has been expanding. My heart has been shedding off old pain. This is what we have to do. And that's how it showed up for me. So let's all remember that we can give ourselves the emergence into grace of our own love and support of ourselves, and really be good to ourselves in this exchange of the photonic light that is changing our planet. It's pretty amazing and pretty real. So if it has been something for you, I'd love to hear it and your shares. And we will now proceed to the wonderful Osairah. Yeah? Okay, my friends. Here we go. Okay. Love you all. See you soon. Indeed, greetings to you, dear ones. We are that one known as Osairah, and we are in fact overjoyed to be in this alignment with you. We are recognizing you all. We are recognizing the way in which this is the configuration. We are recognizing the way in which it is that our beloved channel has opened a very large door. We are happy for that conversation that she has opened within her as well, to offer a divine reflection to all that are participating. It is a beautiful offering, we will say. It is also a clear connection we want to acknowledge in regards to how it is that the amplification of gathering yourself back to yourself really does, how should we say that? Balance the scales. The energies that are happening upon your planet, as you are all very aware of. Many of you can feel the waves of energy and the wave. And we will say it like that because in this time, in the, well, we could say years to come true, but we will say in this time, we will speak to you for this time between the times that we talk to you in directly, is that there is a very large wave of energy that is shifting you all. We say to you, it is having to do with the consciousness that is accelerating. And these are all things that you are aware of, but we are going to tell you about how it is that these light frequencies that we speak of often are shifting your way of thinking, are shifting your way of interacting in the world that you are perceiving. You are literally the universe. You are literally your own expression of the creation. And so what we want you to know is, though that it can feel extreme and hard and difficult, the wave that is coming will meet you right where you are. So that is sort of what we would say a clue, no, different than clue, a marker for you to check yourself. And this is important, dear ones. As you are in this acceleration of consciousness upgrades on all levels, emotionally, physically, psychically, spiritually, physiologically, the light codes, literally the blueprint, the DNA, the ways in which your own light codes are accelerating to connect and wake you up even more, it is required, or can be a benefit, we will say it better like that, can be a benefit for you to pay very strong and close attention to what it is that is swirling and churning inside of you. We are asking you to pay attention. Pay attention, hear our voice, because we say pay attention to what it is that is happening within you on a regular basis. Notice how it is at times you are pushing things under the rug. No more. Bring it up to the surface. The reason we are saying that is because as those things that you bring up to the surface are seen, recognized, really in observance with, from the quantum field reaction place, you are changing your reality if you observe it. And so there is no more room at this time, especially in the amplified field of unified consciousness. You can, if you choose to push it under the rug, these things will come out tenfold, grabbing your attention to another degree. And so it may feel like a tsunami at times, but ride that wave. You would rather ride that wave if it is a 10-point tsunami than you would rather ride the 30-foot tsunami. You see what we're saying? And so the recognition is allow yourself to feel. Your body is a barometer of the expansion of a rebirth that is happening at a collective level for all of humanity. And for you to navigate your own reality in the collective way is to put your attention on your barometer, your body. And as your body is going through its changes, it will tell you more. It does give you more information. Your body can tell you through the things that you are experiencing what it is that is transcending, what it is that is melting down, what it is that is dissolving, what it is that needs to be having attention to, what it is that can now be enlightened about. There are various ways that your body is the keeper of information towards the soul's remembrance while being embodied. So the light encodements that are happening upon the planet and the way that the light frequency is multidimensionally affecting to you is indeed shifting you towards a new reality. But we say this with so much love and understanding. That is a deep and hard at times challenge for our human friends to actually, truly, fully accept. Because as our beloved channel was starting to try to express, you do hold on to what is known. To completely untether yourself to what has been and what you've known, to any ideas of identifiers in that way, is such a radical stance. And most of the time, you choose to have a kind of release like that, meaning piece by piece by piece, as opposed to the big breakdown, which drops you into rock bottom kind of experience. But rock bottom kind of experience really does recalibrate you faster, really does show you it all in a way where if you're willing to remember it's happening and you're willing to remember that you're not crazy and you're willing to remember that these are the light codes of frequencies that are upgrading your entire system so that you hold the fifth dimensional realm of consciousness through the body, you will be an active part and partner in this process collectively, and it will physically help you move through it faster. So that is why we are saying no more things under the rug. Bring these things to consciousness. Speak your truth. Speak the ways in which you are feeling. And we will say this too, dear ones. Hold yourself in loving reverence, because at times you will, from one day to the next, speak your truth this way. And the next day or the next day, it's speaking your truth that seems counter opposite to the thing you just were a few days ago. Let that even be okay. You see how it is that the systems are running their course? If you can be an observer to it like that, you will have love, you can have compassion, you can have appreciation, you can have tenderness, you can have care, like a mother with her babe who does not understand that from one minute to the next, why it feels happy and joyous, and the next time it is melting down on the floor, and the next time it's starving and crying, and the next time it's asleep. It is the same. You are doing the same. It is like the toddler stages of the ascension that you are going through. So be kind to yourself as you are massively upgrading. We hope that makes sense. And so because we are, please hold, we are attempting this. We are working on many different new things with our beloved channel. And so we will drink, as it is called, The physical body is in necessary changes, dear ones. So many of you are noticing that you are feeling extremes in your physical. As our beloved channel started to say, some of you are feeling it's like a rebirth, and we want to say it is actual, like a physical being born is being born again, or being born. Your body will amplify with energy. It can feel bloated. It can feel full of air. It can feel dense and heavy. It can feel like sounds and light is too intense. Be gentle with yourself in this time. Know that this is a part of the process. Some of you are having these head pain, head pressure, headaches. These energies are literally shifting and recalibrating your body system. We don't believe we can say it any more clear than that and what we have been saying, but we want to really have you take this in, so that you don't just hear it today and then in 3 weeks you are forgetting and you are out for a few days on some level with whatever it is that's showing up, and you're not reminding yourself at that time. We want you to remind yourself at that time. Oh, that's right, dear one. Thank you for the upgrades. I accept, I receive, and allow the light encodements to shift my consciousness and the body in the ways of the density of the third dimension, so that I accelerate in consciousness while holding and containing the physical body. You begin to change. You begin every day to be a different person. The more person, not even person, different consciousness, the new consciousness, more than that, your soul's identity as the consciousness embodied that you've come here to be. And identity is not our favorite word, but it is kind of a way for you to give a marker to it. And you begin to be that more and more when you bring the light of your consciousness to the experience of being physical. So it is to remind yourself, it is to remember. When you are having an awakening experience, the majority of this experience of awakening is remembering. It's putting the amnesia, clearing the amnesia and putting the puzzle pieces together. It's reminding yourself to say, ah, yes, I remember. Ah, yes, I remember. Ah, yes, I remember. That is why I'm here. And let yourself feel that. Here's the trick right in that moment. What will happen is the old egoic constructs, the old programming will come in and start to bump up against that moment. Challenge that experience, challenge your sanity, challenge your thinking. Start with the negative, naysaying, blah, blah, blahs that come in and participate energetically with discounting everything your consciousness as a higher soul light is trying to remember. And what we mean by trying does not mean you have to work so hard. It means to open the space, literally continue to keep the channel open for that to stream through. But because it is streaming through, it is edging out that consciousness of the egoic old program, and that gets into an intensity and wants to have more control. So there is this conflict that starts to arise. When this does, dearest ones, we say, take yourself to your seat. Sit down, take some breaths, and get present with yourself. Be the observer so that you can choose the reality of the timeline you wish to experience. Now, here is also where we would say to you that most of our friends stop short. You don't allow yourselves all that much space all of the time to sit in the silence and breathe into the unified field of consciousness around you. And we are pointing to that. Sit with yourself, not for an agenda, not for a goal, not to get into the gap, but to be present. We know we could be sounding like we've said this many times before, but it is important. Sit with yourself in silence and just be with yourself, with the observer within, the one who is looking, the one who is thinking, the one who is looking at the thinking, the one who is aware of the energetic space in the environment around you, the one that is aware of the cosmic space all around you. Become present with the most precious, direct source, your own inner beingness. As you really connect to that fullness and the expression of your own inner beingness, the higher lights amplify to wake you up. It's how it works. If you become conscious of it, you can move with yourself in these ways. It is to show yourself how it is that you are a finer, more pristine and precise multidimensional being while being in the body. But most of you distract yourselves, and that we are not pointing the finger, we are not blaming, we are not shaming. Of course not. What we are saying is pay attention to that when you are distracting. When you hear, just sit down, be with myself, be with yourself, get with me, be with me. Get in the silence, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and just feel into that space. It is you and you, dearest ones. It is you and you that you want most of all to hear, feel, know, and connect with. As you do with yourself on these levels that we are speaking about, you amplify your own higher light. Your own higher light is, of course, the connection of the soul self, as we would say, is the creation principle itself. You are the God consciousness connection. So as you connect to yourself, you amplify that light, and that light extends into what you call your world, your life, your living embodiment, the universe and reality as you know it, and plugs into the consciousness of the creation that you wish to connect to. There's also a stopping point. Pay attention to what you are asking yourself about what you want or what you want to experience. Because at this time, how should we say that? The photonic energetics are creating the multidimensional field of consciousness that is an easier access point. That is why this work is so vital to be doing, because you can jump timelines. You can accelerate to say, okay, now I'm ready to change and experience this. And watch that experience really and truly be gravitated towards your life. Become the reflection of the reality you've called in. This is what we are talking about. It is like a science, but it is different because we say you are the organisms of consciousness embodied, and you are the creation principle. How that is a reflection into the world that you are experiencing. Dear ones, call in, as we say, the love. Call in your health and well-being. Call in the righteous remembrance of why you've come to be in a physical body as the heavy focus that you are. By doing these things on a regular basis, you accelerate past the density of human beings at third dimensional level, and you step into the anchoring light of the fifth dimensional level of earth consciousness. And as you are doing that, you begin to change. You have a bit more of a understanding of the observer principle. You become more present, and the light and the love that you feel is so huge. You really at times won't know how to handle it. And that is why we are saying, be present with yourself, be in love with yourself, be loving towards yourself, be remembering of the soul and love this soul, be grateful and appreciation for the soul self that you are, that is doing this mission. We want that not lost this day, to be so in appreciation for what it is to be incarnated in a physical body, in what seems to be such extremities of the light and the dark as the play is as it is. We want you to know that you are an integral part. There is no other as you on this plane in existence, in the creation matrix that is creating. So play your part beautifully. Be the I am presence that is the accelerated versions of the codes of light that you have come to be. And it is through all these ways of activating it. Many are aware of how it is that we drop in the codes of the 222, especially in the 222 ways of the expression. These codes are literally opening what we would say the sacred geometry principles within the light body of those beings who are amplified and ready to receive them. So when we speak to you all about how it is that you open these gateways and these doorways, it does start with intention within you. Even the idea of you saying, I open myself to the consciousness of the holy and highest light of all love and all good. Right there, you have begun to shift the vibrational frequency of the light Ka body, which is this energetic system that you hold towards the density of what seems to be the material body. And what happens is the multiverse, the multidimensional frequencies all around you respond. The thing is you don't see it with your physical eyes. You have to learn to trust it with your knowingness that is beyond third dimensional eyes seeing, even beyond third dimensional intuition. It is the awareness. It is beyond. It is the greater trust. It is the greatest trust that you are here in these ways as the consciousness of the creation principle of all life. And that you've come specifically with this kind of consciousness as a human being to accelerate the timeline, which means you are shifting it if you bring that consciousness to your body mind. Whew. We hope that is making some sense. We know it is a lot. And there are lots of different ways to talk about it. And in time, we will begin to distill different ways. But each and every person, you see, when we are in this kind of conversation, we are meeting you where you are at. Whoever would be listening, this will be different for because of how it is this opens the keys and the gateway within you of your own soul's codes, what we would say the light codes. So when we said a few moments ago that they're paying attention to the body, there is a great need at this time when you feel, I need to eat more vegetables and fresh foods. I need to drink a lot more water. I do need more sleep. I need to make myself go to sleep earlier. When you hear these intuitions, when you hear these knowings, when yourself is talking with yourself and reminding yourself, or you just have to do some new thing, new version, listen, follow, because you are upgrading, you are accelerating the consciousness, and the body needs to hold the kind of light and density that is in connection with those upgrades. And sometimes those upgrades are going to require you to do new things with the body so that the old programs will shift out. It's because if it doesn't have something to anchor itself to, and you bring consciousness to it, it will literally dissolve. That is where it is that some of you experienced. It was just so effortless. This was just the way I just became it. This happened, and this healed, and that shifted, and the weight dropped, and I felt lighter, and I just knew how to do this. That is when it becomes effortless. When you follow and the divine road opens and you listen, and then you take that road, and then what needs to fall away does. Mm-hmm. 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 And so we are recognizing energetically some of the swirls of thoughts, some of the consciousness connections to the vibrations of what it is some of you are saying. Yes, when there is an upgrade, there often looks like a crisis. This can feel like a crisis within you. It can feel like something outside, but it can more often than not, it will feel like there's an implosion within yourself. This is very important. Pay attention to the implosion. What is there? What is it that is getting your attention, dear ones? Sometimes the implosion will come from someone outside of yourself. In those moments when you are challenged, and it is an opportunity for you to see something through and for yourself through another outside of yourself. This is simply the projection. You mirror each other, and it is a gift always. So see the other as yourself and recognize, how are you choosing to respond to that crisis in another? How do you physically, emotionally, verbally, energetically respond? Are you cutting and running? Are you embracing? Are you holding the space? Are you having communication? Are you being in balance? Are you matching them and freaking out in the crisis with them? Pay attention to what it is that your responses are if it is outside of yourself. Because these are, as what we sometimes know human beings say, are like a test. We prefer the word initiation. These are great initiations that you are walking yourself through. We have used this particular word with our beloved channel for many years because she could see that at first she would call them tests, and then she realized along the way, with all of the various things that have had to occur for her to continue to upgrade in the visionary ways that she sees and experiences and that we come through, that these were all initiations for the expansion of her own ability to hold the great mission, the great light, the messenger as it is spoken. You are all that. You all start and you all amplify as way showers. You all begin to be the walk instead of the talk. And as you be the walk, you amplify your ability, and you will then step into more initiations. Just this time, we are saying, pay attention to the initiations that are all around you. Breathe. Slow down yourself. Become very present. Oh, yes, that's right. This, too, is an initiation. Oh, yes. How do I want to walk through this initiation? How am I going to respond? How is this one that is an amplified aspect of my higher self and consciousness? How is this one going to step through and meet this initiation? How is it that I am going to transcend this opportunity and hold my own equilibrium to balance all aspects of self and body, so that the light that I am can continue to pour through and as me and out into the reflection of the creation that I am? And that is what is happening. So slow yourself down. Be present with those around you. See this all as a beautiful outplay, outpicturing. Experience the reflection of that which is happening within. And dearest ones, for some of you, you are amplifying huge amounts of initiation. And we don't mean that to pump you up in some way that is not real. We are really saying you are magnificent, powerful beings. And some of you are extraordinarily calling in great portals of transformation. We want you to understand, to give yourself great love and appreciation and encouragement, for that is what you are doing. We are giving you that love and appreciation and encouragement. We see it as it is. And you have, as some would say, you have bitten off not more than you can chew, but a whole big bite, bigger than you thought you could take. And you're doing it. So be gentle with yourself as you are in this amplification time. And there will be some tsunamis. And ride the wave. Ride the wave and return to the source of the I am presence that you are. The love that you can offer yourself. The self-care, the self-love, the appreciation, the gratitude for being in a body, for all that you have lived and gone through. If you can be that and give that to yourself with truth, with purity, with love and light, if you can be in so much appreciation for the living embodiment of the breath that you are breathing, for being in a physical body on the planet at this time, dearest ones, you will transcend this faster in ways that you can handle. can accept. But we mean this to say to you, really come into the heart and soul and center of yourself. See yourself. See the places where you have that darkness and shadow, where you are unloving to yourself and others, where you are holding deep pain and resentment and rage, where you are holding anger and the sadness and the judgment against yourself that very often gets projected out onto the world or others. That is never an other. It is always you. So we say to you with so much love and understanding of how that is in this dimensional field and the way that you take it on as physical embodiment called human beingness, it is always a choice. Pull yourself back to remember the choicings that you have, the choosings that you have, the way in which you are an accelerated consciousness in a physical body, remembering itself as an accelerated consciousness in different dimensional fields. You are merging timelines. Collapsing timelines means merging timelines, which means pulling in all aspects of the fractal parts of yourself that you felt you have lost and were fragmented from. You are in a major integration period, dearest ones. And step by step, day by day, moment by moment, month by month, and year by year, some of those periods of time will require a next level. It is always an expansion. You will get your respites. You will get your abilities to stabilize. You will receive and you will, how should we say that? Bring to you the creations that you quote unquote want. You will reassess. I got it. Here it is. I wanted this. Do I want this? And there's nothing wrong with that, because all that does is keep leading you to the next expanded consciousness part of the soul's journey. And please remember, dearest ones, that is really what it is all about. It is about the soul. It is not about what it seems like in the matrix system of what you create and how it is that you have the big house, the perfect partner, the perfect bank account, the success in the world. We know we've talked about all this, but you know this to a certain extent. It's about how it is that you are the amplification of that through the soul's reflection of knowing that's not really about that, but it's wonderful. I created this. And this is acceptable and wonderful. And may I use it for the highest good. It doesn't mean it is my value. It doesn't mean it is my inherent soul's mission to have created all this. But however it is that you create what it is you want, that may be an extremely different thing for some people. Some people would have a very different, I just want to create a rose garden and a simple house and a small community of people so that I can feel free and connected. It doesn't matter if it is about the most successful creation in the world or something simple for another person. There is no comparisons. It's not about that. What it's about is the creation of a reflection that is happening within you that collapses timeline so that you accelerate to hold vibrational frequencies of light that literally disseminate upon the planet that you may not have a conscious always understanding about, but you are actively participating in. When you bring consciousness to that, it amplifies even more. You are always an amplifier. You are always bringing something. You would not be participating in the field of consciousness as you are in a physical body with consciousness in connection, connecting to all aspects of the fragments of the part. I'm getting too fast. Previous timelines and future timelines, what you would call all fragments of self and consciousness as a wholeness of the one, of the creation of all life. If you were not here, it would not be that you would be accelerating. So what we mean by that is you are focused here now. This is the amplification. Take it step by step. Know that you can trust yourself. Know that you can trust the experience of all life. We would say some of you are having the awareness too that there are people who are going through things that are far more incredibly what you would call much more difficult than what you think you're going through. There's a judgment there in that moment. And yet you feel the gratitude. Well, I'm going through my intensity. My experience is very intense and I'm going through a lot and there's so much on my plate and I'm creating a lot and my life is blessed and my life is hard and it's blessed and my life is hard and it's blessed and my life is hard and it's blessed. And then you look outside and you perceive other people and other experiences and you say, oh, well, at least my life is blessed like this over here. And what we are saying with this example is that all beings are the reflection of what is collectively merging to heal. So anything your eyes and heart and mind and connection of awareness locks in on, anybody's anything, the world, one person's story, another person's story, is collectively integrating, because you have a connection to it, to be healed, to be upgraded, to be cleared out. Old programs, many old programs are coming into the field of consciousness, we will say it like this, in the ways of the shadow. Certain things about people, secrets, darkness, proliferations of abuses, etc., extremes regarding proliferations of abuses on people, children, etc., the animals, the earth herself. These extremes are being brought to the consciousness connection because earth herself and all beings and all inhabitants in consciousness, that is not, quote, other, it is you, is saying, we are here to change this. We are here to upgrade this. And you have to see it to dissolve it. You have to bring it up in consciousness and then send all the love and all the light, and know that by the recognition of the holding that you are doing for the light in the highest order, in the highest ways, you are transmuting, and there is an upgrade. It's like pulling it in. But if you don't know you need it, how can you pull it in? So that is why everything that is not like love is up for review. Ha! That's a good way to say it, up for review. So we know that this consciousness conversation has been a lot. We have veered in many different directions. It is because we are trying to pull in a short amount of time. Very strong aspects, very strong alignments to what is happening for many of you who are participating in this conversation at every level. We see that there are many participants who are participating in an energetic way where there is a great undoing in their lives. And we really want you to know, to not just have faith, trust the big picture, see the big picture, remember your mission, remember to love every second, get really down to the seconds, get down to the nitty gritty, as they say, of the preciousness of life. Really have the sensitivity to get into the preciousness of life. One thing we can say is many of you have extreme empathy, but you also shut down your empathetic heart. And why we say that is because it becomes too much to bear to look about the world as it is. And so in order to survive, to keep moving forward, to handle what you have to handle, you can't take it in and have it affect you. What we want to say on that level is let it come in for a moment and let yourself be touched. And then let yourself know and trust the divine source of all that is in this creation as perfect. There is perfection here, as we always say. We know that it is very difficult at times and challenging to see the perfection that is playing itself out through and as you all in this divine play and orchestration of the game. And yet you are being challenged to rise up and bring the light by way of your own accelerated expansion. We think we have laid out a number of ways and tools. Remember that you are here with and for the expansion of love and light through the embodiment of a consciousness that is perfectly you. As you remember that and give yourself the love, you literally change the field of the matrix around you. You begin to change the way the system is being played. If it gets as simple as needing to say to yourself, I'm just dropping some light codes here today. I'm dropping the light codes here today. Or if it's so challenging on a day and you say, I'm just dropping the light codes right here. I call in all the angels and all the guides and all of the accelerated ones who are here in the help and the service to the I am presence that I am, for I have lost my way. Drop in the light codes here that I am so that I may accelerate. I give myself love. I give myself surrender. I give myself appreciation. By way of doing that, literally, dearest ones, you turn that tide very fast. You shift those gears very quickly. You learn to ride the wave a little smoother. And you step yourself through to the heart of the soul of the presence that you are. Remember that you are. Dearest ones, you are love. You are light. You are the transformation of the times at this time on the consciousness game that you so willingly signed yourself up to be here for. It's a beautiful play. It is a beautiful game. It is perfection. We hope that it's helped. We hope that it's been clear enough. Some things we say too quickly. And there has been some conversation to have a more regular meeting. That would be seemingly, we're going to just drop it in, a bit more helpful too, so that we wouldn't even have to feel like we're packing in so much in one time. So we're very interested in the conversations happening more regularly. That would be a wonderful thing. Hint, 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 hint. And then we say, are there any questions? Is this possible this day, dearest one?
Yes. Hi, Osairah.
Greetings, dearest one.
Greetings. Yes, so we can take questions. Just give me a minute to see if, does anyone have any questions? I'm sure there are plenty. Maybe not today. Is there anything else you feel called to drop in?
We think that has been quite a lot. We think that expressions energetically that we have languaged are dropped in perfectly. This would be a benefit for those to listen to again and again, because there will be expanded. It's like pockets. It's like the tunnels, the pocket and the tunnel. It'll open. It'll pop open for those of you. We've also are recognizing the way that we have languaged it has touched into certain themes for certain people, and that is enough. Meaning it landed there, and that's what they need. So we do feel that this has been a very sizable download, we could say. So we feel complete if there is not questions.
Just a comment, Grace and Osairah more often. So people are in agreement.
Yes, indeed. We are recognizing that. And
I do have one quick question. This is from Kathy. Is strange ringing in the ears EMF interference or downloads?
We love it because the way you have languaged it, it is both. It can be both. The difference is there is how should we say that? The EMFs at times you can feel them on a physical body level too. So that's how should we say? Those with the extreme sensitivities can feel it in this physical body. So you can feel a little more agitated when you're hearing the high-pitched ring or the EMF ring. When it is a download in consciousness, maybe that is the energetics of the multidimensional realm. They are shifting, literally changing the frequency that you are in. And this is very difficult for us to try to visually kind of give you the representation of, but it is literally like you are walking through waves all the time regarding your EMF and your Wi-Fi. You are also walking through different waves of consciousness that is energetically, how should we say, landing in the fields around you, dependent upon what is happening on an energetic level, what is happening and is available within your physical body, and what is also being amplified from the photonic light realm. What we mean by that is what's actively getting through to hit the surface, you could say, of your earth. So the downloads of that kind of high frequency pitch and the accelerator of consciousness will be a high-pitched ring that will come in high, very high. It'll ring and dissipate. The ones that come in and are a high-pitched irritation kind of feeling, high-pitched but stay, is EMF. It will eventually go away too, but it is, how should we say, It is a longer wave when it is the EMFs, because when it is coming from the multidimensional realm and from the photonic light belt that we would say is hitting your earth, that lands and then connects. So it dissipates differently. We hope that helps. Is that there has been, as she has been expressing, and we support and love her willingness to be more open, more vulnerable, more clear in her process to others, which is always a helpful thing. We would say is that this has been a time of great realignments for her too. And as all of you are experiencing, it will continue, but this is shifting her, and she is quite quiet at times on a grander level with what is occurring for her on an interior level. That is the acceleration that we are participating with her in at a soul level, so that she can be able to do more. That there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes hand in hand here. And we say it is our joy, so much love and so much appreciation, not only for our beloved channel, but for those that are in participation with our beloved channel. For you are seen, loved, and appreciated, because it is a divine web that you are making, this beautiful golden grid of light. And being in participation and in support of her is being in participation and support of you, which is being into divine and participation support of we. And that is all that is here, the we. You are all the we that we are. There is only one here. And so it is that this reflection and the ways that you support each other, the way that you even support her, the way that you support yourself, and then those around you and those around them and around this is the amplification. You are doing it. It is all perfect. And we are overjoyed to be as this that we are with and for you. Our love and our reflection is monumental. It is what you would say, it could blast the entire cosmos through, because we know from where it is that we stand in the wholeness of Osairah, not just the 12 of us, the allness of that which is Osairah, the fullness of the connection of the light beings of the consciousness that you are in future timelines. We say, thank you, dear ones, for the embodiment that you are participating in. You are a part of a great evolutionary jump. We are with you for that. We love you and appreciate you, and we are holding that through and with you in all ways, through all timelines, into what we would say is the next kind of conversation we have. We look forward to more. We love you, appreciate you, and we bid you the most happy and magical adieu. Hi. Sorry, guys, I'm really dizzy. Not a bad thing. That just means it was really far and they were really deep. Hi. How are you? Yes. EMF. Okay. Hi, Lilia. What is an EMF? Electromagnetic EMF, electromagnetic field. Yes, that's what it is. So EMF waves are what is part of like the Wi-Fi that is happening through everything these days. I hope that helps. That was a big one. Thank you. What else? Anybody have any other thoughts or questions? Oh, Sarah tells me I'm a good hanger-oner too. Yeah, right, Alana. I know. Me too. So I have all kinds of things that are swirling around with new creations, and new offerings that are coming soon, and some as early as the end of May and thereafter. I'm also wanting to experiment with a few things because I've been getting these insights, and I sure do hope that when I put those things out, that all of you, I would love for every one of you to come, and I would love for you guys to come in person. Not everybody is able to come in person. I know that, but boy, do I hope so. So look out for those things. There's some really special things that I know are birthing and getting created. And so this is exciting. I'm feeling it. And I've had to move through a lot in order to even get to that place of feeling it and being excited. So as it continues, and then it actually gets, dropped in where it's typed up and we have it clear in that way in the world, I just hope you'll come or participate or send your friends, because this is really, honestly, even though I've been doing this for a very long time this way, I really, 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 really feel that this is just the beginning. And so I can feel it. It's just the beginning. So it's very exciting. And it's also like, let me go, let me go, let me go. But I also just know it has to go exactly as it's going to in the time that it needs to develop. But pay attention. Join me if you can. I love you guys, and I'm so grateful that you're here on the monthly call. And I'm always here for you. So send me an email, send me a text. I'm here. And remember our monthly carriers of connection with us. Number one, of course, Osairah, myself, Laura. We're all with you, and we're all together, all of you who are on the call now live and all of you who are listening later. But we're going to hold for the next month, which always sounds like such a long time. Emerging into grace, I open my soul to grace. Mother Mary, love and peace. Let go of the need to be right. Choose peace. Mother, healing is possible at this time. Master Jesus, forgiveness. You are on the path of light, love, and forgiveness. Father, healing is possible at this time. And Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. And offering a helping hand and doing what is right for everyone involved first starts with self-care and self-love. When we are loving and caring for ourselves, we end up and will choose, and the divine way is shown for it being the right thing for everyone involved. That's sometimes a sticky one for women, I feel, because we're mothers, whether or not we have children or not, we tend to give, and sort of it's in the codes from all this ancient patriarchal domination to be a self-sacrificer. And I know for myself, that was a long time held in the background, in the past life connection theme, feeling in my body was always this: I have to sacrifice for everything and everyone. And I've really worked on for a long time that place of trying to stabilize that. If I care for myself and I find ways to love myself and I don't sacrifice myself, then that is radiating a stronger place for everyone else's highest good too. So take Kuan Yin in for care and compassion for self-love first, and then it just does it for everyone. So I love you all. Happy birthday to my daughter. I have to say it, for May, and she's 18 tomorrow, and me, I'm next week. And so I might do a birthday experience of some kind, so stay tuned. And I love you all, and you'd all be invited. And happy May, my friends of 2018. Hang in there. You've got this. I'll see you next month. Love you. Bye.